Yo, you guys, this is Blacklist of the Abyss, and you're watching my review for Parasyte, aka Kiseijuu, episode 16. Alright, and there are essentially two stories in this episode, kind of three, but the third one kind of transitions from a different one. The first story is about Kuramori. Okay, his family ends up getting killed by the parasites because they're trying to tie up loose ends, get rid of possible threats, and that includes people who know about them. Alright, and his family ended up being collateral damage. Clearly he was not home when the parasites came knocking, so he didn't get killed, but his family did. Um, and because of this, he ended up deciding to go to the police. He ended up deciding to go to the police and meet with Hirama, the detective that Shinichi referred him to. And apparently, just knowing Hirama's name is enough to tip off the police to the fact that this guy knows something about parasites. Okay, so clearly Hirama only works with cases involving the parasites. All right, but he ended up writing a bunch of stuff down. I would assume writing a bunch of stuff down on this notepad. And not giving it to them, but leaving it for them to then go and try and take revenge on his own. We don't know what he wrote in the notepad except for the fact that Tamiya Ryoko, her name was written in there, and he referred to her as a partner, which he could be referring to the fact that she was his partner at one point because she hired him. He could be referring to the fact that she has partners in the other parasites. Who knows what exactly he means by that without hearing the context. But that's just one thing that he wrote down. I'm sure there were other things there. We just don't know what at the moment. Maybe he told him about Shinichi. Who knows? But this is where it kind of transitions to the other story. Reiko is having problems of her own right now because she was kind of mad at the one man and the one woman, male and female parasite, because they didn't end up killing Kuramori, just the family. And she understands human nature enough where she knows that they are now in bigger danger because of the fact that Kuramori is alive but his family is dead. Right? So she's criticizing them for that and telling them, like, you don't understand humans enough. You underestimate them, okay? She described humans as a single life form comprised of millions of individuals. All right, and well, a little more than millions, but well, whatever. She ends up saying that, if you can't comprehend that, if you underestimate them, then you will lose. And that's when they started to turn on her, which may have to do with my theory from a few weeks ago, where I said that while Shinichi he's losing his humanity and becoming more parasitic. Reiko is actually losing her parasitic nature and becoming more human, right? And that's probably what they started to sense, because I guess a legit parasite would never even take into consideration the fact that humans are actually capable of doing harm to them, which I don't understand why they would. Not why they wouldn't consider that a possibility, since so many parasites have been taken out, But apparently this idea of giving humans a little bit of credit makes her less parasitic. Therefore, they decide to go and try and take her out. So now Reiko has to fight 3 parasites on her own. All right, and while she's doing that, Kuramori is planning something. Is planning his revenge against her. And he's going inside of her apartment. I hope that this doesn't involve him like killing her baby or something like that, because number one, I understand why he would do it. He took away my family, so I'm going to take away yours. The problem is that Tamiya Ryoko, Tamiya Ryoko, I think that it wouldn't affect her the way he thinks it would. I think that she would feel something from it. She just wouldn't understand the feeling. She would get the physiological reactions. She just wouldn't understand why those physiological reactions are taking place. She just wouldn't understand what was going on with her body. Okay, so I feel like that's the thing that would happen, and it's not what he wants. But another reason I don't want him to do it is because I don't want him to become the thing that he hates. Um, but especially since it will end up, it just won't end well for him. Especially since the title of the next episode is "Adventure of the Dying Detective," and the fact, I'm pretty, he's going to do something with the baby, because if you look at the preview for the next episode, you can see him holding the baby. All right, so he's definitely going to do something with it, but I don't like his chances of surviving. I really don't. Right, but that's the one story, or two stories really. Right, the other story, the second main story, is the story involving Shinichi. Okay, Shinichi ends up fighting Miki in this episode, and it was pretty crazy. All the tentacles flying around. Japan loves their tentacles, but this was a different type of action that you than what you normally get with them. All right. Um, it turns out I was actually kind of right about my leg theory from last week, about how, because of the fact that he's always off balance and things, it might be because one of his legs is a parasite and the other isn't. I was kind of right about that. Kind of. I was also kind of right about my brain theory, and saying that, because of the ways that because of the things that he's been shown to do, he has to have a parasite in his brain too. I was actually kind of right about that. And of course, as soon as this episode starts, that unique personality he had, it was still visible, but he ended up showing more parasitic tendencies, like that awkward, that creepy, horribly timed laugh, and not knowing like how to laugh and when to do it, like stuff like that we saw from Tamiya Ryoko. Like she showed more parasitic tendencies when it came to his brain in this episode. So yeah, I ended up being, that made it more clear, but I ended up kind of being right about both theories, because it turns out that um, after fighting with Miki a little bit and deciding to aim for his legs and realizing that his legs were not being damaged the way they should, Migi and Shinichi end up realizing that this guy actually has 5 parasites. Okay, head, arms, legs, head, shoulders, knees, and toes. All right. This guy's got parasites all over. All right, so I was technically right, kind of. But another thing that we learned here is that of those 5 parasites, only 2 are capable of being the head / control center. And of those 2, only one of them, the Speedo guy, all right, because they're actually the same person, which caught me off guard. Only the Speedo guy has enough mental capacity to be able to control each parasite as if they were one unified life form. Okay, Miki could only unify a few, right? But Speedo over here, he can control the entire body perfectly. All right, so that's something Shinichi discovered firsthand, because this guy was doing some crazy maneuvering, jumping around in trees like a monkey, as Miki said. Well, he said he was better than a monkey, and that stuff, but he was bouncing around all over the place. And this dude has, because he controls all of his body, and all of his body is parasitic. Well, most of his body is parasitic. There's got to be some leeway, like how Uda has his neck. That's a parasite, or his jaw, but it like stretches up to his jaw. And, there's like a zone where where your body's parasitic. For Shinichi, it's like up to his elbow, I guess, probably. When it comes to the legs, it might be just half of the leg. Maybe it's the entire leg. I would work under the assumption that the greater majority of his body is parasitic and can change. All right, but yeah, this guy ends up taking over after Shinichi does his own maneuvering, which was also pretty cool. And he cuts off Miki's head, which was epic. All right, and Speedo takes over. He shows his monkey abilities. He turns into Sonic the Hedgehog. He just like starts sprinting at over 60 kilometers an hour. This guy has shown that he can adjust his body in ways that will help him in any situation, really. At least I would assume it's not any situation, but a lot of situations. Okay, but Shinichi and Miki do manage to get away after getting him hit by a car. And after that, they end up hearing about what happened with Kuramori and his family. Though it did actually start off kind of funny, which is messed up because it did end up getting kind of sad. But it did start off kind of funny because Miki stole money from the driver of that getaway car or truck. All right, and he hid it inside of himself. You know, like usually someone tells you to look inside yourself, but this guy, Miki, literally went inside of himself and pulled out a lot of cash. Like it caught me completely off guard. Like it reminded me of Datara. You know, like how Datara's hand will eat some clay and then it'll spit out a bunch of clay birds and snakes and spiders and crap. You know, like it reminded me of Datara. It was funny. All right, but eventually after Shinichi gets some new clothes and gets some food, they end up hearing over on the news about what happened with Kuramori and his family. And because he knows that the Parasytes are tying up loose ends now, Shinichi decides to contact his father and tell him, listen, you gotta leave. It's just not safe to stay there. You have to leave. Right? And his father does end up trusting him, and he does end up leaving. Murano ended up stopping by the house at one point, but it was after Shinichi's father had left. I don't really think that scene is important in terms of like long-term plot. I think it was just something that needed to happen to at least. It would be strange if Shinichi disappeared and that disappearance was not acknowledged at all in any way by Murano. So I think this scene was here just so that she acknowledges the fact that he's disappeared. Right? I don't really think it's anything more than that. But who knows? One thing for sure that I'm definitely curious about are these dreams that Shinichi's having. All right, we see Miki. All right, but he's in like this monster skeletal form, kind of. All right, and he clearly looks differently. And according to him, Shinichi's appearance is different as well, which is what we got a glimpse of last week. Which, I mean, the things that we got from this scene, all they really do, in my opinion, is confirm some of the theories that I've had about Miki and how when Miki healed Shinichi after he got stabbed through the heart by Nisei Nobuko, and parts of Miki were spread throughout Shinichi. I guess there's no real clean way of saying that. It's going to sound dirty no matter what, but it kind of supports my theory about maybe, just maybe, since Miki has lost contact with these cells, it's possible that they can essentially do whatever, and Miki won't even know. So maybe these cells will reach his brain, and they probably won't be strong enough to take over, but they might have enough of an effect where his hair will become like parasitic, and if someone pulls out a strand, it'll start moving around, and people will confuse Shinichi for a parasite. Right, that was the one theory. Then the other theory was that Shinichi... No, it's not really a theory. It's already confirmed pretty much. But it's Shinichi losing his humanity and becoming more parasitic. Okay, but yeah, that's what I got out of that scene. But yeah, I mean that is the episode. Really, I'm surprised it only took 14 minutes to talk about it. I thought it'd take like 20. But yeah, that's the episode overall. I thought it was a great episode. The stuff with Kuramori, the stuff with Tamiya Ryoko, the stuff with Shinichi and Miki and the Speedo guy. You know, I thought all of it together, I thought it was a great episode. So I will give it a 9 out of 10. I really enjoyed this episode. It had me hyped by the end. I was so annoyed when the ending started because I didn't want it to end, but I liked the ending theme, so I ended up getting over it pretty quickly. Just because the song was good and I like listening to it, but yeah. It was a great episode, so it gets a 9 out of 10 from me. And that's that, you guys. Rate, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.